Hi there, that's right, once again, the great and glorious, simply famous one day, Nick Dutch back on the camera for another delightful tarot reading. We've got an inquirer today who's called Kelly, and she wanted me to mention her name on the video so she will know that this reading is for her. I've got one little problem with the reading for Kelly, and that is that she hasn't actually asked me a question. What someone like me does traditionally is to answer questions. That's what we do. So obviously if you'd like to have a reading done in the form of a video on this YouTube channel, then please do so, but ask me a question. There are some things I will not touch at all, whether it's commercially or whether it's during one of these free YouTube video readings, and that would be like pregnancy, childbirth, medical matters, issues relating to paternity, for instance. These are things that I just would not touch, alright? So bear that in mind. Also, the subject of marriage. Many people think that traditionally the professional tarot reader, the fortune teller, would always turn around to someone and say, oh, you will be getting married at some point in your life, or you won't be getting married at some point in your life. That's something that I would not normally tackle. If you get married in your life, that depends upon you having a relationship which is good enough. And that's up to you to make sure it happens. And that implies and that requires things such as communication, time together, opportunities to build the bond, and to deliberately overcome various issues that you may be coming across with the passage of time. Unfortunately, that rests in your hands, okay? That's not in my hands. But we're still doing this reading today for Kelly. Just given the cards a quick shuffle, making sure it's nice and random. So, I've got no idea what's going to come out in this reading. Based loosely upon the Celtic cross spread. Okay, we've had another inquirer recently who's asked me to tell her what particular meanings the cards within the Celtic cross spread has. Well, the bottom line is the positions mean what you feel the positions mean, but you've got to build up a certain quantity and a certain quality of analysis and understanding about life itself so that you can apply rational and intelligent meanings to the various positions of the cards within the reading. With me, I tend to do this in a very basic way, okay? Let me just very quickly show you the spread I've done. Okay, these two represent the individual, what they're aware of consciously and subconsciously. A brief reflection upon the past, the anticipation of the future, and progression through short-term, mid-term, and long-term future with a sense of the unexpected. But now let's have a quick look and see what that reading's talking about. The forces around you, Kelly, in the here and now, looking a bit stressful, I would say. There's a sense of there being, well, what the reading says, quite literally some interference, a sense that your life is not progressing in a manner that you would like it to. A sense that there's a few minor difficulties and a feeling of other obstacles. You're trying to become more of an authoritative person within your own life, and you're doing that essentially through telling people where you're coming from. As far as what you're consciously aware of, you're consciously aware that there is an awful lot of love around you, but you're just not feeling it at the moment. There's a great sense of satisfaction, and that seems to be doing you an awful lot of good. Subconsciously, you're someone who is incredibly hopeful. You've got this wonderful feeling that the future is going to be absolutely brilliant and beautiful, and you're going to make everything happen. You've got this desire to be a miracle worker, and that, I feel, is very endearing. Maybe a little unrealistic at times, but also there's a sense of there being some drive and determination within you. I like that streak, okay? The reflection upon your past, you've gone through a lot of healing. I think that maybe your childhood wasn't as good as it could have been, and there's a sense of a few problems there and needing to overcome them. So as far as I'm concerned, you have already overcome most of those issues, and now it's a question of getting the environment of your own life kind of like sorted out and straight so you can actually have the progress that you want. The midterm future part of the reading itself is actually talking about a sense of dramatic change and a feeling that there is going to be a great sense of joy on the run up to that. Why would there be a sense of joy? Because what you're doing is you're putting the issues from the past behind you. Alright, there's a sense of there being some very real progress and a sense of something wonderful. Yes, within the unexpected part of the reading there is a sense that something's going to knock you back and maybe make you feel, oh my god, I'm not doing the right sort of thing. But if you take into account the long-term future sign, it's again looking very enthusiastic. One thing which is interesting about this reading is that although there are some cup signs coming through, it's not coming through to me to be a very strong, loving feeling. I feel that you want to be in a position to make sure a good quality relationship can occur, but you're not seeing that particular type of situation in the here and now. I mean, you don't feel confident to be able to start a good quality relationship now. I feel, and in accordance with what I'm seeing here, that by midsummer everything of that type will have changed, and you'll have created sufficient progress within your life to be able to make sure a good quality and new relationship can actually start to develop and emerge for yourself. So it's still a very positive and optimistic reading, basically. You know, I've got some great senses and feelings about this when moving on into the future. Alright, so essentially that's what your general overview is essentially like. If I was doing this for a reading for you over the phone, I would tend to keep the general reading that short. And then what I would do is then ask a few questions, or I'd get you to maybe tell me some other areas of life you want me to focus in on. Because this overview will still have some kind of reflection upon the rest of your life, the way that you will be explaining it to me and the questions that you'll be asking. So that's essentially how I would be doing a reading under these circumstances if I was doing it like over the telephone or over the internet. It also gives you a feeling for how one can actually interpret the tarot when laid out there, because the tarot tells a story. What story it tells is up to you and up to your wisdom, because in many ways it's not really the tarot that's doing the reading, but it's the reader who's reading themselves and the reader who's reading the client. And sometimes it's, you know, it can get more complex than that. But essentially, the tarot provides wisdom. It doesn't always provide facts. And that's something you got to bear in mind too. Alright, this has been Nick Dutch, the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day, Nick Dutch. Bidding you good fortune, God and or Goddess and or none of the above blessed. Hope you enjoyed the reading today. If you want to request a reading for me to put into a video, alright, send me a request through private message, not in the comment section. If it's in the comment section, I probably won't touch it, okay? So send it through via private message, and that'll add it to the rota. Alright, speak to you again soon.